Every time you fill that bowl, your dog runs a test, not on the food, on you. A silent neurological test that has been running since the very first meal you ever gave them. Most owners fail it every single day without ever knowing. Here's exactly what your dog is checking for. The role you were assigned. Dogs do not experience the world in moments. They experience it in roles. Every single being in your dog's life has been sorted into a category, not by name, not by face, by function, by what that being does in the context of survival. And you, the person who fills the bowl, have been assigned one very specific role, not owner, not best friend. In your dog's survival map, you are the provider, and that one role changes everything about what your dog is actually experiencing when you feed them. For 15,000 years, dogs rewired their own brains to read human signals, respond to human emotions, and synchronize their survival instincts with human behavior. Which means when your dog watches you walk to the kitchen, they're not just waiting for food, they're reading you, your posture, your pace, the way you reach for the cabinet. Their heart rate is already rising, not from hunger, from anticipation of a ritual they were genetically designed to participate in. Food is not food. Here's the part most people completely miss. In your dog's natural world, food doesn't just mean calories. Food is communication. Who eats tells you everything about the group's current status. So when you place that bowl down, your dog is not just consuming nutrients. They are running a check. A deeply emotional, neurologically loaded check that asks, is the pack okay? Is the provider still functioning? Are we safe? Yes means they eat calmly, settle after the meal, sigh deeply, and lie down. That's a dog whose survival software just ran a successful cycle. No, or even uncertain, is where every behavioral problem you've ever blamed on personality is actually born. The aggression, the anxiety, the restlessness that never fully goes away. None of it is personality. All of it traces back to one bowl, one ritual, one provider who didn't know what the bowl was actually communicating. Stop. Read this slowly. Have you ever noticed your dog scarfs their food in under 20 seconds? Barely chewing. Almost panicked. Most owners assume it means hunger or greed. It means neither. What you are watching is a trauma response. In the wild, a dog who paused to eat slowly risked losing their meal to another animal. Speed eating is not greed. It is a survival reflex triggered when the brain registers uncertainty around resources. Now ask yourself honestly, what message is your feeding routine actually sending? Inconsistent times, different amounts, sometimes forgotten. Your dog's brain receives one specific signal from that pattern. The provider is unreliable, and the nervous system responds not with anger, not with spite, with anxiety that never fully turns off. That anxiety is the dog who begs with a full bowl, the dog who guards food from other pets, the dog who eats so fast they vomit immediately after, not personality quirks, survival responses to a problem you created without knowing it existed. The presence your dog is begging for. Your dog assigned you the role of provider, and that role carries one expectation their brain has been running for 15,000 years. The provider stays present during the ritual. Set the bowl down and immediately walk away. Watch closely. You'll see a subtle but unmistakable shift, a slight stiffening, a faster eating pace. Sometimes a full pause mid-meal where they look toward the door you just walked through. That is not clinginess. That is a pack animal checking whether the provider is still standing watch. In the wild, mealtime was the moment of highest vulnerability. Head down, attention focused, guard completely lowered. Your presence during your dog's meal is not hovering. To your dog, it is protection. When you disappear the moment the bowl hits the floor, their brain registers an incomplete ritual. And an incomplete ritual means an unsettled dog. Every single time. The fix costs nothing. It takes 3 minutes. Stay in the room. Say nothing. Do nothing. Just be there. That is the entire instruction. And what your dog does differently when you follow it will genuinely surprise you. The belief that will stop you cold. Your dog thinks they earned that bowl. not in a transactional sense. Deeper. Dogs are working animals at their core, built for function, for meaningful activity followed by reward. When a dog does nothing all day and receives a full bowl of food, their brain doesn't register that as generosity. It registers it as confusion. The reward arrived without the work. The sequence is broken. This is the hidden driver behind anxious, restless, destructive behavior in millions of pet dogs. The fix requires nothing expensive. 5 minutes before meals, a handful of commands, some engagement, some mental effort. When they sit, stay, come on recall, and then the bowl appears, their brain fires in a completely different sequence. The food becomes the conclusion of a successful mission. The dopamine hits differently. The satisfaction is deeper. The dog who finishes that meal is calmer, more fulfilled, more bonded to you. Same bowl, same food, same dog. Completely different experience because the sequence was finally correct. The bowl is yours, not theirs. This is the one that changes everything. Your dog believes the bowl is yours, not theirs. In pack dynamics, the provider controls the resource until they choose to release it. And the act of releasing, giving, is one of the most powerful social signals one pack member can send to another. This is why food aggression develops in dogs experiencing trust issues. It was never about the food. It's about whether the provider is safe enough to be vulnerable around. And this is why hand-feeding your dog, even occasionally, has a disproportionately powerful effect on your bond. You are skipping the bowl entirely and delivering the most primal version of the message. I am choosing to give you this. Directly. From my hand to you. Every time your dog eats from your hand, their brain records something it never forgets. This provider is generous. This provider is safe. This pack is worth belonging to. 3 pieces of kibble from your hand before you pour the rest, that small act rewires something that no expensive toy, no premium food, no training program ever fully reaches. What you've been broadcasting without knowing. Your dog doesn't just remember that you fed them. They remember how you felt when you did it. This is not a metaphor. When your stress hormones spike, your dog smells it. When your energy is rushed and distracted, they register it. Every bowl you placed down while scrolling your phone, while arguing with someone in the other room, while running late, your dog received a full emotional broadcast alongside the food. A dog who consistently receives food in a tense environment begins to associate the meal itself with unease. The food is fine, the calories are fine, but the ritual is contaminated, and a contaminated ritual produces a dog who eats but never settles, who finishes the bowl and immediately starts pacing, who seems fed but never quite full, not in the way that matters. The bowl is not the meal. You are the meal. The food is just the final ingredient. Every distracted feeding you've ever given, they felt it, they filed it, and it became part of how safe they believe this pack actually is. The clock inside your dog. Your dog has a feeding clock, and it is more accurate than yours. Dogs don't experience time through hours and minutes. They experience it through biological rhythms and environmental cues. The sound of your alarm, the smell of your morning coffee, the particular quality of afternoon light through a specific window. Your dog has mapped your entire daily routine and pinned their internal state to it. Their digestive system literally begins preparing before you've touched the bag. Gastric acids flowing, appetite hormones spiking, their body already eating before the bowl exists. A dog fed on a consistent schedule is a fundamentally calmer animal, not because of discipline, not because of dominance, because a body that knows what is coming next does not need to generate anxiety about survival. That low-grade alert state doesn't turn off when the bowl arrives. It becomes the baseline. The background hum of a nervous system that learned resources are unpredictable. A dog living in that state is not a happy dog, even if you love them completely. Even if the bowl is always eventually full. Consistency is not kindness. It is the language of safety, and your dog has been waiting for you to speak it fluently. The test at the bottom of every bowl. There is one final thing your dog believes about mealtime that most owners discover too late. The bowl is a test, running silently in the background of every meal, every day, for the entire length of your relationship. The test is simple. Does this provider see me? Dogs fed on complete autopilot. Same bowl, same corner, zero attention. Begin showing one specific pattern. They become disconnected eaters. They eat but don't engage. Finish the bowl and walk away without looking back. The tail wag at mealtime flattens. The excitement fades. Most owners see this and think, good, they've calmed down. What's actually happening is the opposite of calm. The dog has stopped expecting anything from the ritual, recategorized you from active participant in their survival to automated food dispenser. And when a dog stops expecting engagement at the most fundamental moment of their day, they stop expecting it everywhere else too. The disconnection at the bowl becomes disconnection in the home, but it works in reverse just as powerfully. The day you crouch down to their level, say their name, make eye contact, hand them 3 pieces of kibble one at a time, that is the day something visibly shifts. The ears, the eyes, the way they look up at you mid-meal. That look is not begging. That is recognition. That is your dog thinking. The provider sees me. The ritual is complete. I am safe. The water bowl connection. Most owners treat the water bowl as an afterthought. Fill it when empty. Move it when it's in the way. Never think about it again. But your dog thinks about it constantly. Because in their survival map, water and food are not 2 separate things. They are one system, one ritual, one signal about whether the provider is functioning. In the wild, a pack with clean water had a provider who knew the territory, who kept the group alive between meals. Your dog's brain runs that same ancient calculation every single time they walk to that bowl. A water bowl consistently full, consistently clean, consistently in the same place sends one message. The provider has this under control. A bowl that is empty, stale, moved to a different corner, sends the opposite, quietly, invisibly. But their nervous system registers it every single time. Here is what stops most owners cold. Dehydration in dogs does not look like thirst. It looks like anxiety, restlessness, inability to settle. A dog who seems fine but cannot quite relax might not be stressed at all. They might simply be thirsty. In a way, their brain has translated directly into threat detection. The water bowl is not separate from the feeding ritual. It is the opening act, and every time it is empty when your dog goes looking, the test has already started, and the provider has already failed it. The sick day signal. Your dog stopped eating. Your first instinct was to worry about the food. Wrong instinct. When a dog refuses their bowl, completely, deliberately, without any physical reason, they are not making a statement about the food. They are making a statement about the ritual, about whether the current state of the pack feels safe enough to lower their guard in. Eating requires vulnerability. Head down, attention narrowed, awareness reduced. A dog whose nervous system is running at high alert because something in the environment feels wrong, because your routine has shifted, because your energy has been different lately, will refuse that bowl not from illness but from threat perception. This is not the moment to lower the guard. Most owners respond by changing the food, warming the meal, offering higher value treats, and sometimes it works, not because the food changed, but because suddenly the provider was present, engaged, fully there. The ritual became complete again. And a complete ritual is the only signal that tells a dog's nervous system it is safe to eat. So next time your dog skips a meal, before you change anything, before you call the vet, ask yourself one question. What has changed in this house? In your routine? In your energy? Your dog already knows the answer. That empty bowl is the only way they know how to say it. So here's what your dog is actually experiencing every time you feed them. They're not just eating. They're running a survival check on your entire relationship. Is the provider reliable? Is the ritual complete? Did I earn this? Am I safe enough to be vulnerable right now? Does this pack still make sense? The bowl on the floor is not a bowl. It is a conversation your dog has been trying to have with you every single day, in a language older than any words either of you will ever speak. The question is, what have you been saying back? Drop a number in the comments right now. Drop 1 if you've been walking away the moment the bowl hits the floor. Drop 2 if your dog speed eats and you never knew why. Drop 3 if your dog is next to you right now and you're about to feed them differently tonight. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one.